Hey, everybody, it's Tim Miller from the Bulwark. All of the MAGA freaks are mad at me this weekend. Even Don Jr., they all want to protect their little victim status. And when I punctured it with the truth, well, they have lashed out. They have gone insane on social media. My feeds are exploding with MAGA weirdos shouting me down because they just can't handle the truth. Let's back up and tell you what happened here. On Saturday, J.D. Vance and Donald Trump had a rally in Georgia. In another video from yesterday, you can go watch my take on what Trump had to say. But on Twitter, I made an observation about something that J.D. Vance had to say. J.D. Vance was going on this riff about how this boogeyman, these people have been out to get Trump. They tried to impeach him. They tried to bankrupt his businesses. They, tried to jail him and indict him. And then in the punchline, he goes on to say, they even tried to kill him.
They couldn't beat him politically, so they tried to bankrupt him. They failed at that, so they tried to impeach him. They failed at that, so they tried to put him in prison. They even tried to kill him.
There's some pretty big problems with that. Number one, there's no broad day conspiracy to any of this. Individual prosecutors indicted him. Grand juries made up of his peers approved those indictments. A jury of his peers convicted him in New York. Regular people, not the Illuminati. No, they. Wasn't the big deep state. Republicans voted to impeach him. Several Republicans voted to impeach him. So this whole notion that there's this like kind of secret society out to get Donald Trump, a deep state society, is just wrong in its face. But to me, the accusation of they even tried to kill him is not only a lie, but it's a very dangerous lie, because that's an important word in that sentence. They is a plural pronoun. They tried to kill him means multiple people tried to kill him, right? So obviously within the context, we know that Vance and all these other weirdos are trying to, imply that the deep state or that the Democrats, the elites, the liberals, whatever, tried to get him. But even if you just look at the sentence, specifically, there are other interpretations. Maybe there are other shooters, or who knows, right? Like it's being intentionally vague to imply a conspiracy because they don't want to just accept the reality of what really happened that day. And Pennsylvania, it was a terrible reality. It was horrible that Donald Trump was subjected to it, but it was not a grand conspiracy, right? What happened in Butler, Pennsylvania was one troubled young man, Thomas Crooks, who, by accounts of his classmates, by accounts of neighbors, was conservative, at least from a conservative family, may have had Trump signage in his yards. By the accounts of the police, the FBI, and others who looked at his computer, he searched for he searched to look for Biden events in the area. I think he searched for Chris Wray, the head of the FBI, events in the area, right? So we don't exactly know. He didn't leave a manifesto or anything, but there's no evidence that Thomas Crooks was part of some broader conspiracy, that there is any they there. And more to the point, there's particularly no evidence that he was influenced at all by like this anti-Trump movement, that he was in any way tied to the Stop Trump movement that impeached him, or to the people that prosecuted him, right? Like there's nothing here. Like it is a troubled young man who had easy access to an AR and who was able to, despite being under 21 and not being able to buy a White Claw, able to walk into Home Depot and buy 50 rounds. There are other problems, Secret Service, there are other mistakes, right? But like why it happened was him. It was he tried to kill Donald Trump. Thomas Crooks did. That is what really happened. That is obviously inconvenient for their narrative, for the hero narrative of Donald Trump. And so what you had here was the series of people lashing out at me about this, thousands upon thousands of them. We had Michael Malice, who's a commentator. You might have seen his YouTube up on your feed. God bless you if you haven't. But he posted something that said they not only want to kill him, Their apologists want you to pretend not to acknowledge it. That was retweeted by Donald Trump Jr., the president's son. Again, you look at that. They not only want to kill, who is they? Who are you talking about? Again, like there was one now dead, deceased young man that tried to kill him. And then their apologists want you to pretend not to acknowledge it. I don't know what you're saying there. Like what I'm acknowledging that Thomas Crooks tried to kill Donald Trump. A single, troubled, young, white man, maybe conservative, definitely lover of guns and gun culture, went and used his father's weapon and purchased bullets on his own, despite not being 21, and used those to try to assassinate the former president. A tragic event. Horrible. A horrible failure by the Secret Service that he was able to get up on that roof. But there's nothing else here. Like I know that that Donald Trump Jr. really wants it to be the libs, or never Trumpers or people with TDS that tried to do this, but that's not what happened. People with TDS, like myself, want to beat Donald Trump at the ballot box again, like we did in 2020. It wasn't just Donald Trump Jr. A sitting member of Congress, Mike Collins, who was at the very event where J.D. Vance said this, he replied to me. Mike Collins wrote, well, they did. They did try to come. Again, I replied, who is they? Who are you talking about? They is a plural pronoun. No reply, of course, because they don't have a reply to this. Similarly, we had the Libs of TikTok feed that posted a gory video of the shot of the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, saying MSNBC analyst me denies the assassination attempt. It's literally on video. I'm not denying anything. Nobody's denying anything. We all watched it. I saw it live. We've been talking about it all the time on the Bulwark YouTube. I talked about it on MSNBC. I've talked about it on social media. There's nobody's denying anything. I'm telling you what really happened, not what you imagine or what you wanted to happen. And the end wokeness feed, all of the worst of the MAGA are doing all this. But none of them, I replied to several of them, none of them answered the question. Even had the more normal, quote unquote, conservatives on this. Here is Dan McLaughlin, baseball coach. He's over at National Review. National Review is kind of struggling right now, so you might not have heard of them. But he is supposed to be in the intellectual class of conservatives. He wrote this, quote, nobody ever tried to kill Trump, end quote, is a bold move, Cotton. Nobody said nobody tried to kill Trump. I said they didn't. They. He did, not they. I replied to Dan on this. This is the thing with these guys. They all get really up in arms. They all get up in arms. It's all the same people who are using this they now are the same people that get performatively upset when an individual, somebody that's non-binary, wants to use they as their personal pronouns. Okay, so it's the same people. So they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. And as I replied to Dan, I guess maybe he's accepting now that they can be a singular personal pronoun. But unfortunately, to my knowledge, Thomas Crooks used he, him pronouns. So it's a he, him. He tried to kill Trump. Not they. We cannot let them do this. We cannot let them have this. This is it's a lie that advances a political objective. But B, it's dangerous. Most importantly, this is dangerous. If regular people that follow Libs of TikTok, that follow End Wokeness, that follow Michael Malice, that follow Donald Trump Jr., that follow the National Review, if some percentage of their followers buy this fake conspiracy that there was some effort out there to assassinate Donald Trump by liberals or by elites or whatever, that's enough to make some people, to radicalize people, to make people want to feel like they need to take actions into their own hands. It's a dangerous, dangerous game they're playing. They all know better. If they didn't, they would be engaging with me, but they're not, right? They're just trying to dunk on this to try to continue to advance their dangerous false narrative. So that's, while you guys are out at the barbecue, that's what's been going on social media for me. We'll be back soon. Make sure to subscribe to the feed. Tons and tons of coverage of Kamala Harris's VP announcement this week and monitoring what else is happening in the MAGA fever swamps. We'll see you soon. Hey, if you like this video and our content, I'd love for you to become a Bulwark Plus subscriber. You get access to bonus podcasts, secret podcasts, and newsletters we put out every day, plus some behind-the-scenes takes that I don't always post on this feed. In addition, you can become part of the Bulwark community. Come over to our Substack and comment and meet other like-minded people. We'd love to have you. Starting today, you can get a free trial at thebulwark.com/free trial. The link is right here on the screen and below in the description. We'd love to have you as part of our community. Come on and give it a free try today.